Alrighty boys, today is finally the day. After over a year of trying to start and finish the version 2 build of the Tacoma, today is going to be the final endpoint. So if you guys have been following along the channel, you will know that I've been on the journey of trying to build the best mid-travel Tacoma that you can possibly build without going long travel, without going through the bed and all that stuff. So this whole journey started with doing a shock relocation kit from Archive Garage, which allowed me to put a much larger shock, get a lot more travel going through here. I've recently swapped out the leaf packs. We've done all kinds of things. I'll tag a bunch of different pieces in this video so you guys can check out the other parts of it. But today is the end point. So today we are at Slaughterhouse Performance, which we will catch up with in a quick second. But while we're here, what he's doing for us is we are putting in the new Archive Garage shackles and hangers, which will give us a little more droop and will allow us to use the entire 12-inch shock. And now that we have these going in, since it's allowing us to use the entire shock, we need limit straps, so I'm not beating the shit out of the shock when I droop out all the way. So we're gonna be adding limit strap tabs today, and also gonna be adding bump stops today, because we got the King bumps somewhere over here that we got at the Off-Road Expo. So we're getting all that done today, and then a few minor repairs. We have cracked core supports that we're gonna get welded up, and the drive shaft center bearing, where is it? I can't see it. Somewhere up there. Those brackets are bent. So today we're doing a little bit of rehab and the last of the upgrades, and then she should be done with her version 2, which I'll cover at the end probably. But yeah, man, what's going on?
Nothing much, having fun with rivets.
You want to do like a 30-second pitch on Slaughterhouse Performance for all the new people, all the people looking for a fab shop in the Orange County area.
All right, so as you can probably tell, I'm pretty young. I'm 22 years old. I'm fully on my own here, so I get a lot of people kind of hesitant about getting me to work on their stuff, whatever, just because I'm a younger dude, and I get it. You know, it's kind of, some people are weirder about that because I work on like 40-year-old trucks. I have a pretty good understanding of what I'm doing, and I back up on my work with a lifetime warranty. So, you know, bring it on in, talk to me. I don't bite, so let me know. We can get stuff figured out, and anywhere from, you know, installs like this, or lift kits, custom fab like what this one's getting, preps, bumpers, you name it, probably do it for you.
Name drop like 1 or 2 real nice trucks that you've done, that you've worked on, just so people can see some work on Instagram or something.
I gotta get my boy first. I'm Bakes Tundy on Instagram. He's got a first-gen Tundra that I've done a decent amount on. He got that truck mostly done, and then it's just reversing some stuff that should have been done differently. Sean Falcone, he's got a linked Ranger that Khalil originally built. I've had the opportunity to work on that thing a few times. This truck right here is his Trent Pomeroy's and his dad's. This thing absolutely fucks, but this one's getting a little bit of love, and then next season we'll be back for some other stuff too. So
what about your personal trucks? You build that yourself?
I did some of the work myself. I bought that truck with the front kit already on it. It's got a cambered kit, but as far as fab wise, that's been me. Cut off a lot of stuff on that truck. I'm going to start caging that thing this summer, so you'll see more on that black GMC here pretty shortly.
That is a nice truck. Yeah, that's all the clips from New Year's. You getting rowdy in it, but
that's stock lease.
Hey, Leaf Freaks party harder, dude. But yeah, there's I just threw up on Instagram maybe like what, a week ago, less than a week ago maybe. It was like the end of last week, and I was like, okay, does anybody have like fab/install shop recommendations? Because I got to get this in, I got to get it done. I've had the part sitting at my house for like months, and I just got to finally pull the trigger. And I had like 4 or 5 people recommend him. So I mean, you're doing something right if you got all these recommendations coming in. All right, well, hopefully you guys can hear me between his drilling and his drilling, but right here we have the old ones that he already got worked off, which are notorious for bending if you're like really beating the hell out of them. Like they will bend and warp, and it'll mess up all the geometry and the cycling of everything. So now we have these brand new beefed up archive garage ones to go ahead and match with the shock relocation kit, which come with the new shackles. And this whole assembly versus the stock assembly is going to, one, articulate better. They claim that it's going to eliminate a lot of the jitter and stuff going on in the back end, and it's also going to allow a little more droop. So right now the limiting point in my rear end when I droop out is the shackle and hanger. They hit and they bind, and that's what stops the shock from going any further. So now that we have the new setup, it's going to droop a bit further. It's going to ride a lot smoother, and we have some greasable fittings here. So now it's going to allow this shock to droop all the way out, which is again why we are doing the limit strap tabs, because if I did not do the limit straps, then the stopping point would be the shock just completely drooping out inside of itself, and that's just going to start to wear and tear and ruin the suspension overall. So we need the limit straps for a little bit of safety, a little bit of a product health, I'd call it. But yeah, you can definitely see the difference here. I mean, they're about the same size, but this is just so much thinner, not really boxed, no support, super light. This one's a little beefcake. She's a little beefy. Resting on the shock.
Yeah. So we'll strap it like an inch shorter than that. But now your limiting factor is the shock, so you could run a 14.
Yeah.
But that would affect the bump that we're going to put in today.
Yeah, so that was another question as far as bump and strap position. Is it going to be kind of set up to this setup, or would it be universal, able to swap out into a larger size?
No, so when we're setting up the bump, it's in relation to this point on the shock.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to put a 14 in here, that point comes down to about here. So your bump would be the shock, not the hydro bump that we're putting in. So you're set with the 12 once the bump's in.
Like I said, I want to stop building it after this point and not mess with it anymore and just switch to a second vehicle. I don't know. Down the road, who knows if I go to a 14 or a 12 bypass. I could do a 12 bypass and not have to mess with stuff again later.
If I'm not mistaken, the 12-inch bypass's body is longer than a smooth body by like 3/4 inch. But I could be wrong.
So I'll just go fuck myself. That's what we'll do.
Well,
but maybe this is the limiting point. I need to stop building the truck is that bump going in, because then I'm gonna have to redo everything.
Well, if you ever plan on running a 14, because if you look at the shackle now, you have more droop in these leaf springs.
Yeah.
Because this is supposed to lay over to get your full travel cycle. So you're not there yet. The shock is limiting you now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to put a 14 in it after I do the bump, then it's going to bump out wrong. So it'd almost be better to put a 14 in it before the bumps, or a bypass, whatever final shock is going in it, build the bumps around that. If I were you, I would probably just go spring under, because I've seen these trucks, like the old Tacoma that Blake used to have, that thing works pretty good with like 0 tuning on those bypasses, and that thing works pretty good. So you work some magic on those, and that thing will rip. I guess like the kind of off-roading that I do, and the way it's set up without going like full bed cage, everything, like whole new rear end, I think I need more, like the up travel's the limiting point right now, not the droop. Like my droop's never been a problem as much as the up travel's been. So, and I don't think any of that's gonna get fixed unless I do a full bed cage and everything, right? Yeah, I mean your shock mount's fixed where it's at, so no matter what shock's in there, your bump is gonna be the same. Yeah. If not less, if you put a longer shock in it. But yeah, so if I go to the 14, then I'm losing more up travel, 2 inches of bump, and I'm smashing my ass to the sky. Yeah, so we can cycle it. It'll probably cycle 15 to 16 right now, with the hydro bump in it, which is plenty for a truck that hasn't gone through the bed. I don't think 14 sounds appetizing whatsoever right now, just for that pure fact of losing up travel, which I desperately need right now. Because, I mean, the way she set up before we went ahead and started doing everything we're doing, it eats pretty fine. It's just like on big stuff, the shock will eat it, you know, and then the whole back end will just come up. Like it'll smack the bed up, but the tires still stay down. So I just feel it droop out with the bed going up and down and not really the tires dancing. Dude, I'm just
This might be the new move for leaf springs, right? Just take out the whole pack and only do 2.
Yeah, honestly.
2 leaves. Look how much more flexibility I have.
That's about where it's gonna be happy before it gets before it starts sacking shit out, which that's a bummer. But I mean, you saw it when it was at full compression. That thing wasn't very happy. That's gonna change stuff. Well, you can run a 14 now by just bolting it in, because you're gonna have plenty of room to play with, because we can't get this thing to go metal to metal. I mean, even right there, the leaf spring's got some unhappiness to it. And if we go all the way up, it's got a lot of unhappiness to it.
So I'm losing a bit more up travel, but it's not. Well, where would that pad usually sit? The cone, yeah. So I'd lose a little bit more, but I'm getting better compression through the bump stop versus using the compression through the shock and smacking into that cone, right?
Yeah. Either way, you're gonna notice a difference on how well it slows down the travel as opposed to just that, because these don't compress like you think. Like they just bulge.
Yeah.
But you get like a half inch of.
It's not even progressive either, is it? Like it's all the same consistency through it.
It's just hard ass rubber.
Yeah.
So that's gonna make mounting this bump very interesting. It's a lot of wasted shock too.
Maybe this is why people do a U-bolt flip kit with the little. Those like progressive rubber bumps. Yeah. Those big ass cones.
Mm-hmm. I'll go all the way so they can get the full effect.
Get the full effect. All right. So, unfortunately, long story short, we are not going to be running the king bumps in the rear anymore, and we'll explain why kind of right now when you see how bad this binds when it's going all the way up. Oh yeah, dude, that looks mint. I don't know what you're talking about. That shit's sick. You could eat off this, dude. It's so flat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've come to the conclusion that sticking that hydro bump in there is going to be a waste, because the leaf spring right now is the bump technically. Not the bump, but the limiting factor on up travel. There's already wasted shaft. I wouldn't even get close to bumping it this high just because you can see the shape of the leaf spring. Looks like we have it in upside down. So the solution is whatever company you're just looking at with that tall rubber bumper placement that is adjustable. You can get different sizes till it is happy, because that no good. So
well, even if you dropped it down to where we would bump it, it still just wouldn't make sense.
No, I'll drop it down so you can see how much shaft you're wasting. That's about where it'd be, and you got 3 inches of unused up travel.
So, I mean, it doesn't really make sense.
No.
It just doesn't make sense to have these back there. It just kind of be, not even overkill, just unused potential, I guess. Unused goods. So, these aren't going in the back anymore. I don't know what. I'll probably hold on to these, maybe sell them. I think what we're doing, like you said, is just going to have to go to a U-bolt flip kit with either AccuTune or Archive Garage's rubber bump, which is essentially the same concept as this, except it's just going to be a better piece of rubber than a stock piece of rubber, is the stupid way of putting it.
Yeah, more progressive.
Yeah, it's progressive and it's a little bit larger. I want to say it's about that big, so we're just going to be like every little overland truck here running bumps back here. No more big dickens, so
sometimes shrimping is pimping.
Shrimping is pimping too. But so yeah, we got the shackles and hangers in already. Now we're gonna skip the whole bump thing, put back that old one. I'll get the U-bolt in there, or the U-bolt flip with a new bump in another day. So we're just gonna continue on with the
core support fix and center support bearing fix on the driveline.
And the straps.
And limit straps.
Not gonna lie, kind of bummed. I'm honestly kind of bummed, because that would have looked, I mean, it's a baller thing. It's a status thing. It would have been like, would have been big dicking, dude. It would have been sick to have king bumps in the rear, but I mean, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to put something in there just for the look of it if it's not helping the performance, you know? You guys know me. I like to do the performance over look thing. Hence why I'm still looking practically stock over here. Little sleeper build. All right, and this has got to be one of the things I'm most stoked about here is finally flipping these little bolts around so I can stop gashing my gas tank and the strap. Hopefully that's enough clearance. I honestly don't think that's gonna do the trick. I think I'm still gonna hit. So that's only like what? That's like 1/8 of an inch. Dude, look at, I'm like beating the shit out of that thing. I think I'm gonna need a little more.
Dude, I got these on lock if you want one.
Hey, what are you slinging over there?
Those are Lowe's? I got the locks on my truck at Lowe's.
Stickers?
I got what you want. Let me know.
I'm gonna say 8 inch, 9 inch.
More than that.
I was saying 10 max.
These are 10s.
Oh, no shit.
And
Oh, they go from hole to hole,
eye
not
to
the
eye.
strap?
Yeah,
Okay.
eye to eye. These are also from like when George Washington was still alive. So I don't know. $13.
13?
14. But I'd say get 13s.
13 for clean travel.
Keep the shock happy. You want to run and grab straps?
Yeah. You ready? Go eat my first meal of the day.
Yeah, you ready?
We might not be big dicking with the bump stops, but at least we got straps now, right?
Strapped up.
Strapped up, 13 inches. Alrighty, so he's got the rear end buttoned up now. It's all sitting on its own weight. Not a whole lot of visual difference because we didn't end up doing the king bumps, but see the straps sort of tucked in there. And unless I end up going with a rear bumper and glass, you're not ever really gonna see those shackles and hangers. They're tucked in there. A little too tight for his comfort. Hopefully we could feel a difference on it. Some upgrades and products you know before you even put it on, like, yeah, this is really gonna make a difference, but this is one of the ones where I'm sort of like, I'm gonna have to feel it out and see if it actually does anything, see if it does what they claim it does. I mean, it did get, what, did an inch more down, or inch more shock usage, because we strapped it for a clean, we didn't do the 2 extra inches, so we'll see. Well, earlier we estimated about 16 inches of travel, I think. It was like 15, 16 inches, but now that it's like strapped for clean travel and everything, we're just estimating around like 14 inches, which is not terrible, especially for being stuffed under the bed in like a stealth little sleeper build, but yeah, we'll see. We just, like I said, we're not gonna be able to tell anything until we get it out to the desert, and I raced Gion in the wash again and beat him for a second time.
Yeah, keep that straight face going, boy. Keep that straight face going.
You kept breaking down in the wash twice. You broke
Put it back towards you.
You broke down.
Tell your fans.
What? Tell them
You
what?
beat me.
He's talking shit over here. He's talking shit over here. I don't know. He's just mad. I beat him in a race.
Oh, you fucking.
Beat him in the wash. Smoked him. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I've shown a few shots from the wheel well, sort of aiming in at it when it first started. But I think like in the past week alone, it has like doubled in size. I caught it when it was about right here through this hole, and it's just clean gone through another few inches. What's weird though is so many people like recommended it, like, oh, just like do a drill stop hole, you know? But if this didn't stop it, how would that drill hole have stopped shit?
Yeah.
It just smoked clean through.
I mean, this shit is paper thin, so, and they're like pretty floppy to begin with. That might be a different one, but there's another crack right there. And then there's one coming off the spot weld.
This one's grown too, but I don't think it's bad. What do you think, Doc? She savable?
I mean, I can weld it, but I don't know how long any of that's gonna last. No matter what, it's gonna crack somewhere else, so I can put a little plate over the corner of this just to get it back to where it's supposed to be. These things are like paper, so kind of inevitable. There's another one right here.
I trust you. I'll just cover my eyes, go hide in the other room, let you do what you gotta do.
I'm gonna cover my eyes too.
Alright, I didn't want to have to bear witness that whole process, so I just hid in the back room, but she's all welded up now, looking nice and solid for the time being. We'll see how it holds up. But now that leaves one last repair. Oh, all the way down here. This drive shaft center bearing. You guys can see on the backside how bent out of shape it is right there. Not bent out of shape, but like, it's not just going straight through it. It's a little tweaked. What do you think? You like it?
Yeah, it's pretty custom.
Pretty custom. That's one way to put it, yeah. They look straight now. I think it's just a matter of it needing like a drop, like a spacer almost, you know?
Yeah. It's straighter. It's like pretty level with the drive line now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the angle of the actual bracket itself. That bend's not in it anymore. It looks pretty straight. It's on that flat face. It had like a hard like cut.
If you look at it from the side, it's not like parallel with the floor, but it's right in line with the drive line.
Yeah. It's not putting the stress on the rubber anymore. Okay, well, that was something I was gonna attempt at home, but thought since I was bringing it here already, might as well just try it while we're here. And hammering it back definitely did straighten it out. It made it work, it made it flat, but the downside to it sitting at that angle for a couple months and off-roading on it is I think we totally smoked the new center bearing already. The drive shaft is moving around a lot right now, so I might bump up the time frame on a certain center bearing upgrade, which some guy makes a really nice like custom one for off-roading, which we're probably going to switch to. I'm going to sell the King bumps, buy the new U-bolt flip kit bumps from either AccuTune or Archive Garage, then try to get that new center bearing in, and then this version 2 should be done. I mean, it was supposed to be done today, but you know, unexpected things happen all the time with off-roading and off-road vehicles, and you have to adapt. So this wasn't the end of the version 2 build. We've still got a couple more things to go in now, but we got a lot done. I'm super stoked on it. Huge shout out to Riley and Slaughterhouse Performance, SHP. If you guys are looking for any work to get done to your truck, any off-road work at all, go ahead, hit him up. His Instagram is going to be somewhere in this video, and he's right here in Orange County. So thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to SHP, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring.